Hello and happy Saturday, Detroit. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Beauty and a D, where we are here live every Saturday on WJZZ Cool TV. Today, we are not going to disappoint. We always have fabulous guests, and today is not going to be an exception to the rule. We have Mr. Jonathan Barlow, who is a native Detroit entrepreneur and civic leader running for mayor of Detroit in 2025. He is a proud graduate of Renaissance High School and has spent the last decade driving economic development, workforce innovation, and community transformation across Detroit. He has previously led legislation to secure community benefits and social equity programs and has consulted for major incubators and small businesses alike. Through initiatives like Let's Talk, Roundtable, and OneVibe.org, he has brought together residents, business leaders, and grassroots organizers to build lasting solutions. Jonathan's campaign centers on real results, putting money in families' pockets, creating jobs, and restoring homes because Detroit doesn't need a fighter. It needs a finisher. How you doing, Mr. Finisher?
I am well. I'm well. Stephanie, thanks so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be with those who are part of the independent media community. But most definitely just enthusiast and a supporter of civic engagement, fashion, and the like. I'm just ecstatic after going to two mayoral forums today. I'm ready to spill the tea.
Yes.
Give you all the good stuff. So whatever we got to do, let's get right into it. I don't want to waste no time.
Well, let's get right into it. It is hot in here, and so the topic is going to be hot in here too. Also, hey, to our staff in the back, can you please bring him some water because it is hot up in here, and he's about to spill the
It's
tea.
all right.
So, I first listened to you at the very first forum that was at Riverside Marina.
hmm
And so I was invited there. I am also a precinct delegate as well as a business owner in the city. So I'm very curious and interested to hear what everyone has to say. But I was very intrigued and very impressed when I heard you speak at the very first forum. So I want to go back to there. Just a little side note, a takeaway that I had learned about you is that I never knew that you could sail from here to Miami.
Yeah. Let me correct that statement. We didn't sail. We took the boat out of the water, which most do in the wintertime here in Michigan. And because Michigan has down months in its water,
Uh-huh.
because it's so cold, we took that boat on a truck all the way to Miami.
Oh, gotcha.
We never sailed
Okay.
it to Miami. I believe there is an outlet from the Michigan Great Lake or the Great Lakes to the actual ocean in order to get around.
Mhm.
But with a 37-foot yacht,
Mm.
you wouldn't, unless you really knew the water
Mhm.
and had sailed it before in another larger vessel, you don't want to necessarily take that small of a vessel into the ocean and go all the
Okay.
way down to Miami. Now, what actually happens is once you get to Miami with that type of vessel,
Uh-huh.
you can take that type of small 37-foot yacht to but I think it's Bernini or like a Caribbean island,
Oh, okay.
such as
Yeah.
you can get across there.
Yeah.
But you still, whenever you're in the ocean, to have a smaller vessel and not know the waters is very very
Dangerous.
scary, very dangerous.
And you don't know.
Yeah, but the last thing I'll say is when you talk about business and business from state to state or
Mhm.
region to region, we have fresh water up here.
Mhm.
They have salt water down in Miami.
Mhm.
Those are two different types of water,
Bodies of water,
two
yeah.
different types of way that you maintain your boats
Mhm.
or yachts. And ultimately, if you understand the industry, thanks a lot. If you understand the industry, then you can understand how to make or profit from those type of scenarios in
Mhm.
different geographic areas. But you also know what it is that you need to do to prepare yourself for the other side of things, and there's a lot of nuances that go into that. But I just wanted to go into the yacht game
Yeah.
since everybody want to talk about yachts these days. I'll tell you about some yachts now.
But you know what? That's one of the reasons I think that makes Detroit so fascinating. Is not we're not East Coast, we're not West Coast. But if you want to have a yacht, if you want to do that, it's all up to you.
Yeah.
So, what has made you want to run for mayor in the first place? 'Cause
Well,
this is a big job.
I think, Stephanie, that exposure, opportunities, and how should I say it? Preparation for the future. I don't believe those things are taking place in Detroit. And in order for us to show the diversity, set the examples for the rest of the world, become a place where internationally we can thrive and show a village approach to fixing the world's problems, I don't think we're in position, and I don't think our leaders have put us in position to win. And I say that because I've seen too many people lose trying to win here, go other places, and instantly be able to have some type of success.
Oh yeah,
and
from
so
Detroit, you could do that.
Man, we do prepare ourselves to be able to win other places, but the question becomes, why can't we win at home? Why is that the case?
I don't know why that is, Jonathan.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why. It's because the system is not designed for us to win. We don't know how to hold our leaders accountable, and from the outside looking in, we feel as though the system can't be changed or fixed in order for the majority of us to be able to be successful. And so when you look at how much money gets captured because we give incentives to major investors who don't have our best interests at heart,
Glad you brought that up.
I'm totally against the same politics as usual, going after things or going after people or partners for the city that don't give us the respect or the love that we deserve. And so when you really look at the atmosphere that's created, when you look at workforce development pipelines, when you look at how family has totally deteriorated and how community needs to be built back up again, you have to single in on whether or not we're going to be able to reach every family clinically. And that means that if someone has a mental health issue, if someone is homeless, if someone is battling a financial difficulty or needs financial literacy support, or
a lot of people need that.
any position that a family or an individual feels that they're in or sees themselves in, they should be able to easily navigate the city's partners as well as the city's resources in order to get to the next level. And one thing that happens all the time is that our elected officials say that they're not responsible for facilitating or creating the atmosphere to thrive. They feel like their jobs are either legislatively, management-wise, never comprehensive enough for us to really get the solution that we need. And that's why we stay stagnant like a revolving door in our own community. And we're really handicapped and jailed in plain sight because
we don't have people to help us or appreciate what's around us. I'm gonna tell you what's going on right now today while we're talking. You know that my business is insurance, so I work with a lot of investors. There is a bus trip here today while we're speaking. They sipping champagne right now. I just got done looking at them. From New Jersey. Coming here to buy up our property. And we're making it easy for them to do that. Why are we not seeing the beauty? Because people everywhere else are seeing the beauty in the D, literally, except us.
Well, get this. They can see beauty because they have the resources to make something look different. If you have a credit limit or money in the bank that is equivalent to anywhere between $200,000 to $500,000, and you can come in, start a new business, take over a corner, you can come here and get it in real quick and turn all the way up.
But why we can't?
Well, get this.
And even with home ownership.
Well, you just said it. There's a tour designed to bring others into our city to invest and to change the values. But yet it's still City Hall can't get the leaders in City Hall can't get on the bus and go around to the community and hold somebody's hand that got a prime piece of real estate. They rather cater to someone else because they don't want to be obligated or responsible to you, and the other ones that's coming in they only see their dollar. Ultimately, everyone has a price tag over their head, and whether and how much you can contribute to that leader is really how they see you.
How much you can contribute. So I'm glad you brought that up. So again, I'm a business owner and I'm in Southwest Detroit. I had an issue with getting signage on the building.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they would make appointments and they just had me on this long list. And I hope I don't get in any trouble, but I did what I had to do. Listen, people have to be able to find me, okay? How can I support them and offer my services if you can't see me, okay? What do you think, or what would you put in place for us small business owners who, we don't have any other jobs? This is our sole source of income. Why is it us doing business here, and I chose to do business here. I had it set up in Southfield, and I said, no, I need to be at home. And it's been a difficult, and I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
It's been a difficult ride for me. On top of being a business owner.
One of the most expensive overhead costs for startups is signage.
But the cost wasn't even the issue. The issue for me was the permit to put it on my building without collecting a fine.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
If you really wanted the sign that you really wanted, it becomes a little expensive. Mm-hmm. A little. I'm not saying that it's a major expense, because of course the rent, some of the build out and stuff like that, and this is covered in the build out, right?
Right. It's part of my operating expenses.
It's part of your expense. You've already covered that. Mm-hmm. The issue is that us as African Americans, and I say African Americans because I don't want to talk about any other minority group. They know how to get through this process. Mm-hmm. We don't invest in lobbyists, lawyers, or consultants that have the relationships to navigate or get us through a process that's already too cumbersome. Because, well, get this. It's because over the course of time, our leaders downtown have allowed our mayors to make the process too cumbersome. And the process is cumbersome and so complex because they want you to hire someone to get you through the process. They want to get somebody paid so that they don't get blamed for blocking you getting through the process.
So essentially you're saying that they're throwing a third party person. Exactly.
Get this. They make the process longer so that you don't understand it or know how to get through it. And then they put their people in place so that you have to pay them to get through the process so that you don't see when they get the extra money on the back end.
Or slap me with a fine.
Man,
what you gonna do?
Man, but first of all,
Mr. Finisher.
First of all, I won't be 1,000% honest with you.
Okay.
I don't even know if I should say this on TV. I'm one of those ones who you often come get to get through the process. The issue is that I hate taking people's money to get through something that they should get through and have the ability to get through by themselves.
Thank you for
that. That's
for having a conscience.
That's what hurts me. That's why I know the system is flawed. Because I shouldn't be offered the amount of money I should that I can get for getting someone through the process, and none of them, get this, none of those people that come to me look like me. Because
they know how to play the game.
But they know how to play the game.
That's bald. Ain't nobody gave me the rules.
But that's why I say lawyers, lobbyists, and consultants are the least hired from our community, which ultimately put us at a disadvantage because they know how to get through the process. So any emerging industry, whether it's cannabis, sports gambling, EV charging, anything for the future, you're not going to be able to get in because this system is going to be designed for those who have the most money to get in first, and then the social equity programs and everything else to get you in the industry will be an afterthought, and they're not even going to assess what you can really bring to the industry beforehand. They're just going to patronize you and say, okay, well, this is what you can do, and then if you don't fit it, and this is after everybody got their share, we can help you do this. Get this, we created a whole social equity program for cannabis owners and things like that.
Okay.
After the fact. I changed the law for cannabis dispensaries and licensed operators in 2017. Mm-hmm. The city fought me on loosening the variances because I was trying to get it loose enough for African Americans to get in because we don't own the real estate in the places that the original zoning was in. So what did the city council do? In 2008, they spent another 4 years stopping the recreational market from coming in. That hurt all the licensed operators in the city. And then by the time they got done with a social equity program, we still have less than 5% African American owners in the city. So why did y'all waste time, didn't get anybody hired because your community benefits agreements don't work and you don't know how to put it into the initial incentives or anything that you're giving to your companies that are coming into the city? How is it that you not only fought me in court for opening up the opportunity for African Americans to get in the industry, you stopped the industry from making money from 2018 to 2022, and then you still have not positioned the legacy Detroiters to get in this industry afterwards, and you haven't done it for any other industry coming afterwards. You all are totally incompetent down there at City Hall, and that's why we gotta get City Hall from downtown.
Or is this a bigger plan?
Well,
because
no, they don't know. See, get this. I used to think that there was a man behind the curtain. No. Won't get this. Duggan is the man behind the curtain, but he's still in clear plain daylight. Mm-hmm. And we don't and aren't able to call him to the table because those who could see the real numbers really don't speak to it because they're getting sweetheart deals behind the closed doors. They don't advocate. And so there is
we got a call coming in.
I hope they say what up.
Hey, you're on the air with Beauty
Hello?
and D. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, caller. You're on the air with Beauty and D. You have a question for our guest? Yes or no? Okay, we're going to keep it moving.
Yeah,
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, we're here. Are you there?
Hello.
Is it a delay?
Okay, I don't know, but go ahead and disconnect him because we can't hear him, Roger.
I just wanted to ask real quick a twofold question. One, can you give more of your experience and your qualifications to be mayor? And also, how do you plan to run against Mary Sheffield, particularly?
That's a great question. I'm glad that you asked that. I didn't catch your name in the beginning, but I'm definitely glad that you asked that question.
What's your name, caller?
Nope. He ended it.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, let's give him an answer.
let me answer that question. First of all, my experience started when I was a community organizer coming out of college. I ran for city council at the age of 24 before said name ever ran for anything. And it was at that time that I started putting other people in position and creating organizations and initiatives to pretty much handle some of the core issues that I saw at that time. At that time, I saw there was a issue for next generation leadership. We didn't have enough young people getting in the races, speaking up for themselves, and we still have the same issue now, which has me to believe that the tables that are set up are not getting the attention that they deserve, but yet and still they become the tokens within our community. And so what I can say to my experience is this. I have the most business experience in this race. I built businesses in the Caribbean. I built businesses in other states, Miami, Atlanta, and D.C., and I built businesses here. I built businesses in multiple industries and multiple sectors. That means that I've done everything from a social enterprise to a restaurant to a sports agency to a tech company to anything that you could possibly name. I've done it. I've been a graphic designer and programmer for probably about 20 years plus. So when it comes to technology and getting into industry, I understand business. Now, legislatively, I just reminded you all that I'm the reason why legislation was changed for an emerging industry such as medical marijuana and recreational marijuana. The issue is that we didn't do our job to protect ourselves and to speak up for what we should have received. I understand how to change the law from where you sit. That means you as a citizen has the ability to galvanize and mobilize the community to change the law. I've done that, and I was quoted in Forbes magazine for it. I've never seen anybody's bills, because I've heard about 20 bills that you all received over the last 12 years. I've never heard of anybody's bills getting into a national publication and being recognized for the work that is doing.
Congratulations, brother. Shout out to you for that.
I appreciate it because it's not happening. Now, this is stuff that I do in my spare time. This is stuff that I do out of my own pocket.
Your passion.
If you go to letstalkroundtable.com, you will see 10 to 12 roundtables that we conducted last year, bringing 300 plus leaders to the table. Now, what I will say to your last point is this: whoever gets past the primary, and we're praying and we're hoping, and then we're trusting and believing that what we expected and how we've carried out this campaign, that we're going to be the one that shocks the world and surprises everybody and gets past this primary with no money received from any corporations. And when that happens, the whole world will start to look at Detroit differently, and will start to look at it like what just happened in New York with Zoran, I don't want to mess up the name, Badami, I forget it exactly how you pronounce it. But he's totally gone after things for rent control, free bus fare for the whole city, It's no more playing this how much do you make game. If you're not making enough, we should already be supporting you. I shouldn't be profiling you every single time you come to the table. I should have already known you. So how am I gonna deal with the general election when it's me and Mary Sheffield up against each other? First of all, I'm not gonna let you all get the same political rhetoric. We're going to talk about the issues. But we're going to talk about whether or not we spoke up while Duggan was taking care of his people, and we're going to definitely talk about what it is that could have been done in the process. Because leadership can't stay silent, and we can't be in the pocketbooks of our major corporate investors who have never given us the best that they possibly could, and we're the suffer for it, and so or the less for it. And so I will say, last thing to that point. My experience, I believe, as, again, community organizer, businessman, and my legislative experience, I can't even begin to tell you how much we're doing nationally on the fronts of mass incarceration, prisoner reentry, not only emergent markets, but education. Education across the board, and how immigration is being dealt with. Wow. And how families are being torn apart. If you don't understand what lever to pull and how to not overlook anybody, then ultimately, you're not going to do the best job. So I want to be that most accessible mayor. I want to reach every family. I want to bring the most money, jobs, and homes into the city. And you need that diverse experience to be able to do that. If not, we're going to fall short and become a victim of someone else's daddy running the whole city.
Wow. So I got to go into another hot topic real quick. You spoke about what they're doing in New York, like rent control and things like that. The hot ticket item right here that people are not talking about, Jonathan, is insurance. Okay? Not just for home, auto, and for my business owners. I insure a lot of clients on the Avenue of Fashion, and I'm going to tell you, those who run the business and actually own the brick and mortar, they actually own the building, the insurance, it's coming back so high, the rates. And I'm a broker, so I'm shopping with multiple carriers that are available here. And I get a lot of times this thing from the underwriters that says crime score. We're not able to insure in this area because of a crime score. My clients, especially along that corridor, many of them have never had a claim. Never and if they did have a break-in or something like that, they didn't file for that. If maybe somebody got food poison or slipped on the ice because it wasn't shoveled, that's something different. But I mean, like, just saying, hey, I had a catastrophic claim. I'm not getting those type of claims. But they're getting denied, and if they're not getting denied, they're paying just a ton of, and I'm being very realistic. It's not unrealistic for me to get a quote that comes back at 10 grand for the year for a business owner, but to insure the building and then the business, and then we're talking, liquor liability and workers' comp and things. How do you think the city can help us, especially clients who have insurance payments that are as much as their car payments? What can we do?
I think
we have to take that straight to Lansing.
Well, let's start here. Mm-hmm. The city sued the state of Michigan for car insurance. Mm-hmm. The city then allowed, as well as all the partners who sued the state, allowed for them to create the language that went back into law that did not force for the insurance companies to play by the rules. Mm-hmm. That means that our policy and our legislation was not prepared properly to prevent them from continuing to oppress us and to steal from us, and to create unfair rates. And so
unfair. You got the same quality house, the same brick bungalow on this side of Tarman, which is the Detroit side, as this side of Tarman, which is the it's the same house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not going to tell me they don't have crime in Dearborn. You're not going to tell me that.
Redlining the whole night.
That's what it is. It's another form of discrimination, John.
It is. Let me say this. It's still cars being broken into over that on Livernois Avenue of Fashion. Mm-hmm. The right type of surveillance over there, for Live that just opened up not too long, a while back.
And in the locker room, I see that they got a new set of security over there.
They have to, because they had I want to say it was a carjacking or armed robbery over there a few months ago.
Mm-hmm. And patrons didn't feel safe, which affects your
It,
business.
man, it will kill you for the next 2 months, next 2-3 months if you ever recover. And so, what I will say to that is, first of all, when you frequent these areas and you hear these stories and you feel the same way that everybody else feels, you act differently because you're responsive to wanting to be a part of that community or be a part of those activations and that experience. And so I just treat problems differently. See, I grew up going to Bates Academy, which is right there at Marygrove, so I'm not too far from Livernois. And then, but I also see what's happening right there on 6 Mile in Wyoming. At Ali's Corner Takeout. And she's helping so many people in the community. It's incredible. But it's impossible to think that people like that can keep on doing that work and not get the support from the city. And so what I want to say is, when you talk about public safety, when you talk about us being in a health crisis, health and wellness crisis is what I like to call it, it starts with, one, food security, but because if people can't eat, they can't even find a place to lay their head. And so if you can find and cure housing, which we don't have enough of, none of it's affordable, then even furthermore, transportation is so limited to where people can't even really go get and find housing. And so you have this combustion of problems that the average individual who's on the ground floor needs supported in order to get to the next level. And so when you talk about that business corridor, when you talk about insurances, when you talk about water bills, that if you got a lot next door and you pay more just because the green space on that lot doesn't alleviate from the water runoff and the drainage, and you got people paying a whole mortgage on a open lot and water bills the same that they paying for their building, it's incredible. So when I talk about insurances and follow through, and people, you gonna hear a lot of people talk about, I got experience.
Yeah.
Well, you got so
Well,
much experience. If you got so much experience, why am I still in the same position? I can't. If you done did all this, then please tell me why I'm still talking about the same thing that I was talking about before you even got there. You ain't changed nothing, man. And I'm tired of hearing the same old stuff. It's politics as usual. I don't subscribe to it.
It is. So, what are your thoughts about home ownership? You know, Dugan did put a lot of money out there for first-time home buyers at $25,000 down payment assistance program, which was real. What do you think? Do you think that would help? By increasing home ownership would help increase the pride in our neighborhoods, because we are lacking, pride. Again, we got the same divider. I don't know why I'm using Dearborn, but just for the sake of same houses, same type of neighborhoods. You got clean over here, but you got trash and stuff over here. Some of that is the city, and some of that is, I think, our pride. How do you think that we can restore the pride? Do you think home ownership, increasing home ownership, will help?
I believe every family should have a home. I didn't say a house. I wouldn't give every family a house.
Okay.
They don't. They don't. Everybody doesn't understand how to have the capacity to maintain a house.
True, it is a lot.
I don't want a house. Not in Detroit.
Why do you say that?
Reason why is because I've had several. I've had many. I still own property. But every time I turn around and take a trip, my house either gets broken into, gets scrapped, or they rip it all to shreds, or there's no community to protect it. And the city's not going to protect it. So why am I going to keep on investing in real estate if I can't be hands-on with it? So I need a home. I don't need a house.
That's a good point.
I need somewhere to go. I need somewhere to lay my head. I need to make sure that my stuff is safe and secure. I don't need
community.
I need a community. And I need support to make sure that I'm not going to be trampled over if something happens to me. If I end up in the hospital for 2 months. It's simple stuff.
Right.
And so housing is a big factor.
It is.
And when I say everybody needs a home, that means that we have all types of level of housing in order to create those homes for our people. But then even furthermore, when you talk about dealing with housing, you're talking about those who are homeless. We have 6,400 families that are homeless in DPS. 500 of them off the streets in my first 100 days is my plan.
Wow.
That's because I'm not going to.
Where?
Oh, thank you. I'm happy you asked that question. The land bank right now has 40,000 properties. 40,000. We gave the properties over to the land bank but still the mayor controls who oversees the
Wait a
land
minute,
bank.
we gave them. Oh, so are these? When you say we gave them over, was that due to tax issues
So
or blight?
the city really can't be a mortgage company or a title company. So you put all those functions up under the in the land bank so that they can conduct all the business.
Okay.
The issue is we could have did that. We could have done some of those things as a city, but we weren't. Our operations and our technology doesn't won't allow for it, and that's why we turned all the properties over to the land bank so they can act independently and not have to worry about all the city department or management things. So they kind of can become its own entity and do the work, right? Well, the problem with that is they don't use the right technology and they're out there operating on their own island. So no accountability, but the accountability comes from the mayor. The mayor has chose not to intentionally have any oversight on what the land bank is doing, and thus we fall into this situation to where it's over 60% of the properties are gone. We gave over 100,000 properties. Now we only got 40,000, and we still don't have nothing to show for it. Yet the same issue, years go by, we don't have nothing to show for it, and then we look up and say, what happened? And our leaders be like, well, we was trying to,
So
or
what the
we
finger
did.
Going on?
The finger's going to the mayor on this one. Finger's
Okay.
going to the mayor on this one. He didn't put the right person over the land bank. They totally shot. They hold properties. They backdoor properties. The favorite people get them, and then we're left without. And so when I have churches that own a whole block but one house missing for them to do a whole development, why haven't we identified that church who just needs one property to do a whole development?
Wow.
It's because we won't go hold hands with that church. We don't partner with them properly. We don't fully assess what their needs are, what their resources are, assets are. So we leave them to be, and ultimately they don't become successful. And so to make a long story short, once I blow up the land bank, it's going to become part of my homeless program,
Really?
which means that legacy Detroiters will get access to those houses. We're going to fast track getting them livable. And then ultimately that legacy Detroiter who invested in that house gets the tax breaks long enough to sustain that family in that house so that it can ultimately find another step to where it can become more sustainable. And once that family becomes more sustainable, now I've increased tax base with that legacy Detroiter. They're happy they got a home that's operating. They're now deemed a good landlord.
Considered the legacy Detroiter to be able to purchase that.
That you participated in X number of years inside of Detroit and had a legacy property and it's been within your family and things of that nature.
And how are they fast track? Because I've looked online. A lot of those land bank properties, I mean, they are really just.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but get this. If I tell you that I'm going to cut your taxes for 24 months,
Okay.
that gives you an extra few dollars to get that property up and going. You don't have
so
to.
you're going to provide incentives.
Yeah, I'm going to incentivize
Okay,
it for that. I'm going to not only incentivize it for legacy Detroiters to get them ready for homeless, but also legacy Detroiters to get them in position for teachers, firefighters, police workers who need to come back into the city. And the funny part about all of this is half of them own some of the properties but just live outside the city. It's their original family home and stuff like that. But they don't have their address inside the city and don't want to be here because one, police get hated on when they live inside their community. They don't really want to be there because it's too much controversy once they find out you're a policeman. And then firefighters and other employees, they just have a better quality of life outside the city. And so what we have to do is encourage them to move back in, incentivize for them to be able to do so, but then also to be able to create a citizen dashboard in order for them to be properly rewarded, properly engaged, in order for everyone to understand how can the city help you in health and wellness? How can the city help you in business? How can the city help you with your real estate and your land and land bank issues? Everything needs to be in one hub, and that's why I say technology is the gateway forward.
I wrote that down because I'm glad you went back to that. Technology. It seems that the city's technology is a bit antiquated.
Beyond.
And being as though that's part of your background, how
bad?
right? How bad is it, and what number is that on as far as priority on your list to take care of? Once you do become the mayor,
it's the whole foundation. It's the whole foundation. Part of the reason why we don't know the numbers and what money is going where, technology. Technology creates transparency. Transparency creates accountability. Accountability gets us to a winning solution.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, technology is the key. It determines our future industries. It determines how efficient and how optimal we're running in. It also tells us how much performance is being done within our departments. It increases communication. It helps citizens engage properly. Right now, we got like a broken website and about 5 or 6 bold apps in the city. That's like, what should I say? That's like the worst company ever.
And we functioning.
That's because we still got paper records downtown. We still got some of the most craziest things you can ever think of. And I get this, I don't operate like that. Like when city council has problems with their technology and the city has problems with their technology, and then you go down there and you still seeing people writing books, writing notes and stuff like that, it's not being shared. When the land bank itself, the website looks so vintage, and then I have my friends call me like, bro, I just built this whole land bank software. Here, we give it to y'all for free. Just pay, $5,000 a month to maintain it. Well, that's a whole lot better than a $4 million contract.
Yeah.
And that's what we're paying now. We're paying people to come into the city just to tell us it's a $4 million contract that the city council just approved. That they're they're $4 million. They're bringing someone in to tell the city how to buy ads during political election cycles.
Wow.
It's the Allen Group. Allen and them probably won't never give me no money because I just put them on blast. But that's what's happening right in front of our nose.
Wow.
Millions of dollars being approved, and we don't know where it goes. And then when we go make public comment, they act like they're listening, and then they go do something totally different, and then they come back and be like, well, I'm not going for another well, man.
Well, so what would be your approach as far as working with city council? Because you got to have a good relationship with city
I have a great relationship with city council.
Okay, good.
The incompetent ones, hopefully we can get some education and awareness for them. And I ain't gonna mention no name.
Okay.
But what I will say is this: I ran for city council 15 years ago. The only person there still there after all this time is James Tate. I think James Tate has a good balance to him. I'm interested.
My district.
Yeah,
James.
I'm interested to see if he becomes city council president, because then it's not about the mayor, it's about James and what he thinks and how balanced his approach can be, because that's where the relationship will really be.
Okay.
I want everyone on the city council to become almost like mini mayors.
Okay.
I want them to feel.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be. They each have a district.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want them to feel empowered. I don't want them saying, like, oh, I don't want District 5 talking about, oh, I got this much put in the budget for buses. It shouldn't be like that. I like Fred Durrell's approach a little, where he says that this was not in my district, and now this is what was. But then my question becomes, how did you get all of that in your district and nobody else did? See, I believe in this rotating investment. It's a rotating model for the districts. I start something in one, next investment goes to 2, next investment goes to 3, and so on. And so you're going to hear about strategic plans for every district and stuff like that. But it's really about, how should I say it? It's really about making sure that the city council and the city don't have split departments or duplicating efforts with neighborhood city halls and alike, and us fully investing in community organizers to do that clinical approach to families, so that we can understand who we have, what they can do, and where we want to take them.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about health and wellness before we go. This time goes by so fast.
Yeah, it does.
We got like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I want our listeners, our audience, to get a softer picture of you, of who you are. I know you've been super busy. You look very fresh. You look hydrated. You're handsome. How are you keeping all of this going? How are you keeping your energy going on with all this campaigning? Because y'all out here.
Well, I campaign 24/7, but I normally run multiple businesses at the same time. I'll put a lot of business on hold this year to be able to get to the people, to be able to be fully accessible, because I want people to understand that I'm not going to let any business of mine interrupt anything that needs to be done for the
But you're
people.
taking a personal financial sacrifice as well, right?
Well, I mean, I'm self-funded. I mean, get this. I it's one scripture in the Bible, because I am ordained minister, but I quote scripture terribly, unless I write it down first. You're supposed to pick up your cross and carry it daily.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get ready to follow God, you get rid of all those earthly possessions.
Okay.
And you follow him. That means he gonna provide for you every day. That means he gonna tell you, what's next. You gonna get put in a time of uncertainty, and you still gotta have enough faith to get through it. So let me put you like this. In order for me to relax and stay calm and stay cool, I'm a Cancer, so water for me is one of the most relaxing. I've been invited to a few different gyms and stuff like that to kind of get a massage and stuff like that. I did get one massage for my birthday. My birthday just passed July 5th.
Oh, happy
And
birthday.
so, thank you.
Belated.
And so those are the type of things that I do. I can go hop on, like we said, we could go hop on a yacht at Riverside or the Detroit Yacht Club. We got people all down there. You never buy a boat. You get a friend that owns a boat. That's the word to the wise. But I'll just say, I'm always having fun. If I'm talking to citizens, I'm having fun. If I go to the locker room, if I go over to Good Times, or if I just happen to go to Soul on Ice, I'm having fun. If I'm at El Perrier in Mexican Town, I'm having fun because I'm enjoying engaging with people and trying to be about God's work. Get this, on every Thursday now, I'm giving out 200 bus tickets and 200 waters to the people down at Rosa Parks. Any bus terminal I go, they told me to come over on Dexter next week, so I'm going on Dexter. So
y'all hear that? Be on Dexter and where? Dexter and where?
Dexter and Linwood. Dexter and Linwood next Thursday. Be there around 1, 2 o'clock. We come through with some free bus tickets and stuff like that. Or if you want us to come to where you all are, I'll definitely come over there because I want to spread the love all around the city. I don't want to just be at the main terminals because I might miss a lot of people. But we like to get around a lot of people at the same time.
If people want to join your squad and be a part of your team, how can they, let's get your information out here. How can they be a part?
I give out my personal number to everybody, 313-728-2398. 313-728-2398. It's on our website, votebarlow.com. That's VOTEBARLOW.com. Or you can just go for John for mayor. That might be a little bit easier for you to remember.
Okay. You looking for volunteers?
Yeah, we always take volunteers. We want your vote. We want everybody to vote more than anything. Even if you don't want me as a candidate, which I find it hard to believe after you listen. But we really just want everybody to vote. And if you're not registered, don't take that as a sign that you can't vote. You can still go down there, register same day, vote early before August 5th, or go down there on August 5th and go ahead and cast your vote.
You can register the same day?
Yep, you can register the same day.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they try to tell you, oh, you got to register. They be like, you got to register by this date. No, if you go down there with your ID, you can vote that same day and register right there on the spot. So we just really are having fun. We're excited. We do believe that whoever gets in the seat, hopefully it's us that has the most futuristic, progressive, all-inclusive plan, which is called, again, Reach Every Family. It's 11 pages on our website. Please go check out the whole plan. But what we truly believe is that there needs to be a village approach to fixing our problems. And we need to listen to the experts. Listen to the experts and the ones knowledgeable and understand how we cross-pollinate, and if we deal with housing over here, how it affects transportation. We don't want to become too lopsided.
We want the domino effect.
Yeah, right. we want the domino effect. And ultimately, we're just here. We're a humble servant, and we're all about getting us to the next level and setting the example for the rest of the world.
I love that. And then you're an ordained minister, so tell us a little bit about that, because we do have obviously another candidate who's running, who is a pastor of a church. How do you feel like the two go together, since you are an ordained minister?
Well, Council President Mary and Pastor Solomon Kinlock are both ministers.
Okay.
I think even Todd Perkins might have been ministering for off and on throughout his years in church and things like that. I think that's probably all the ministers we have. And then Joe Hashim, he's the son of some ministers.
Okay.
My grandfather pastored for 40 years. down in Ecorse, River Rouge, Southwest Detroit area. Okay. It's a whole street. 12th Street down in Ecorse, down River, is Barlow Street.
Okay.
I mean, that's outside of the Barlow Street on the west side, too,
right.
Up north or whatever. So I'll say this: when it comes down to faith-based, when it comes down to how I see the other pastors, get this, or the other ministers and pastors or reverends in the race, I don't have a flock. I'm not responsible to any particular body of people. I did not promise to God that I will take care of this church or institution because I've never had to accept a calling as a pastor. I also understand that everybody doesn't go to church, and everybody doesn't go to the same type of church. Right. So Kojic, Pentecostal, Apostolic, Lutheran, AME, Catholic, Baptist, Progressive Baptist, Southern Baptist, National Baptist, all of them are different. And if you haven't participated with each and every one of them, then you could be off in a lot of different ways. I've gone to Apostolic and Pentecostal churches that when I say I'm running for mayor, no more conversation. Because some of them really don't believe in engaging civically. Right. And so and I don't say that about all of them. I just say that there is some disconnect when you start talking about church and state and how we should be really empowering our community. Those bridges have been lost and dissolved over the course of time, and we didn't grow up in that. Our parents who fought for our voting rights did not grow up in that, and that's not how we're supposed to be. So all I can say is this: as a faith community, we have not done ourselves a service by coming together to understand who our leaders should be on the government side. That's why you see several ministers in the race, because we're not talking enough. The issue is that once you have that platform and that microphone, you have to rally and bring the leaders to the table. And so that's what my grandfather's legacy was. That's what mine is, and that's what I hope to bring together. Now, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. No other minister or pastor in the race has brought as many leaders as I have together. Nobody has positioned on the young person's table like I have. Now, they've done it within their respective institutions, but they get paid to do it within their respective institutions. I did it for Black United Fund with Buff Connect 12 years ago. I sat at a forum today with New Leaders Council. I'm the one who helped Ken Harris get that off the ground. Every single time I turn around, I'm helping young tables get to the next level for our future generations, but I'm also bringing leaders together to make sure that we have a village approach. And I think that's the difference between me and other candidates. They kind of get stuck in their silo. I'm always about creating a village table.
Well, you know, as an entrepreneur, you being an entrepreneur, me as a fellow entrepreneur, we pretty much operate off vision. So, you know, you take it, and that's just like you're following your vision is stepping out on faith. We got 2 minutes. I gotta ask you this because I am from Southwest Detroit, went to Holy Redeemer, graduate of Western High School.
Okay.
And my business is there. What was the forum like there today at Cesar Chavez?
Oh, man, it was great. I'll tell you this one thing.
Because that's an important community that gets overlooked.
I'll put you like this. Between the flood and ice, that's crazy. Flood and ice.
Right.
Flood and ice has hurt that community. But they're the Hispanic and Latino community is so strong. Even the Delray community, they're so strong, and the infrastructure is so tight that they've had one of the most well attended forums this whole election cycle. Outside of Charlie,
today?
Yeah, outside of Charlie LaDuff and Karen Dumas's forum, they might have. It was about 300, 500 people in there. It was
today?
about 300 people. No, it was about 300 people in the room for Charlie LaDuff and Karen Dumas.
Okay.
Today they had at least. They might have had. The room is structured differently, but it might have been just as many people. I've seen at least 200, 250 people in that.
That's what's up.
In that room.
That's well attended.
No, that's beyond well attended, and they were very intentional about their questions. They gave testimonies. One story that nobody will forget is a lady who's exposed and possibly going to have her children taken away because of her housing situation and her not being getting the support since the flood.
Wow.
And for her to have been in a hotel for 2 months, for her to have not had the right clothes for herself or her children, it's a shame. And when you think about people still experiencing crisis 2 months after the incident, you have to question whether or not our leaders are doing their job. I'll say this last thing before I go. Last night, there was a building down in near Eastern Market that they've been working on 2 out of the 3 elevators for, I don't know, for several months. But the 3rd elevator went down at 11 o'clock.
Wow.
It wasn't up at 10 a.m. this morning.
Wow.
So the question becomes, what happens to all those seniors or people in a wheelchair or people in that building? A 22-story building.
Yeah.
What type of mode do we go in when that type of thing happens, when that type of experience happens? So we have to be more mindful. We need a leader that understands how to prepare ourselves, how to create better managers and landlords in our housing areas, but then also how to make sure that we treat each other with respect. Because the next time I hear, and this is if I'm mayor or not, next time I hear somebody a bus driver getting chemicals thrown in their face, or somebody hurting one of our seniors, or somebody doing something to one of our youth, I'm coming after you myself. As mayor or not, I'm not going to let it happen, and I'll just leave it there. Because we got to get more intentional about protecting our families, protecting our youth, and protecting even our women in our community. Because a lot of times the men, they want to point the finger at how the women are treating us, but then if we were protecting our women,
targets.
If we were protecting our women rather than targeting and preying on them, then we wouldn't be having half the problems that we have. So
they see us out here with our little bags, and we're targets.
Man, I done heard so many times.
So in 30 seconds, what you want Detroit to know about Jonathan Barlow, the finisher?
Yeah. Te amo. That means I love you in Spanish. Te amo, Detroit. I love you with all my heart. I wouldn't be here if I didn't.
I feel that love and that passion for the city too.
Yeah, like I really love Detroit. I love its people. I want us to win. I want us to be on the same team. But that takes strong leadership. It takes bold, courageous, and brilliant leadership to get us to that next level. And the only reason I'm in the race is because I don't see it from nobody else. I can work with everybody, but I don't see it in them. Like.
But would you be willing to work with someone if it's not you?
Get this, none of them can move the city forward without me in tech. I've discussed it all with them, man. They gotta come get me. Even Mary, who hates. She probably hates me to death. She probably is still come and get me for tech. So I ain't worried about it. We all figure it out. But I'm gonna be the one that keeps everybody accountable and holds them.
I love your attitude. I love your charisma, and I love your confidence. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for being here today on Beauty and the D. You made my day. You made the show. And I know that you have educated a lot of voters who watch the show on who you are and why they should vote for you for the primary election on August 5th. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. See you next Saturday right here, same place, same time, 1 to 2 next week on Beauty and the D. Take care and God bless.